and we're doing what's called a fast inspection, video inspection. So let's just get through this here. We'll try to keep this short. This is the third floor. This is an older home, probably built, I don't know, 1920s. And then these used to be an attic, and they finished it. And then they try to bring heat up here. What we don't have is cold air returns, not many. And the cold air return in the basement isn't even connected. Up here, the insulation is pretty minimal in the walls, as you'll see down in the basement. And this home was obviously rented by tenants. They're kind of rough. There's mostly old windows, and a lot of the old windows are sashed, and you got to deal with the lead paint issue. As far as these cities, you have to do lead assessments, lead clearance testing, and so this is one of the newer windows. So the third floor does have a couple of newer windows, but these windows, some of them are damaged. One has a broken seal. The interior went through numerous histories of repair. We'll talk about that in a minute. The power is on, and electricity has been updated to 100 amp service. And so there's a new electrical panel. This is the second floor. There's some major odors. The last tenants here had dogs to be doors. You can see where they had dogs in here, how they damaged the trim. The garage has a lot of damaged trim as well. The house had major settlement, so they replaced the columns with steel posts in the basement. They're kind of not done right, but they'll be fine. This room also had carpet that was probably soiled with animal urine. This is the original floor, 3/4 inch, and there's been some upgrading to electrical. As far as 3-prong outlets, there's 2-prong outlets because this is an older knob and tube wired home. The last tenants, somebody must have got mad. You can see where the door is busted open. And then here's your cold air return in the hallway. So you close the doors, you're going to pressurized rooms, you're going to get heat loss, the upper attic, you're going to get icicles, gutters, so you might want to put some louvers in the doors or cut the bottoms of the doors or put passive vents in. Bathroom was remodeled one time, kind of sloppy. They try to, it looks all right, but some of the tile, the plumbing's frozen. There's damaged plumbing not working here. And it's plastic plumbing, so somebody stole the plumbing. And one time they replaced it with PVC plastic, and now there's a bunch of broken pipes in the basement, so that's why the water's turned off. And here's one of the windows I was talking about with the broken window seal. The bathroom and the third floor windows had been replaced. The house has had ceiling repairs. There was cracks, old plaster, and they've done some patching and probably ice dams, leaks, roof floors and panels. And here you can see the old windows. You got friction, so you're gonna have to deal with the lead paint in the windows. All right. There's your supply duct in the ceiling. There's no cold air return, so the rooms will probably pressurize, okay? And some of the doors might need to be adjusted, some are tight. So kind of like working our way down. The old built-in cabinets are old, especially in the kitchen, and like these are original. You can see the little spots everywhere. So you can see where maybe they were smoking that crack or whatever, and they had probably dogs they were raised in. Floor's busted here, you gotta fix it. A couple ceiling cracks that were some loose need to be repaired. Some walls also need repair. Some screens are missing. I'm not really checking those. Floor, the steps actually look like windows are older. Now, leak upstairs, frozen pipes. Ripped out the bottom. You can see there's no insulation in the walls. These are the old glass. The lead glass is pretty careful with point loading. That's not a real fireplace. The gas fireplace, generally you don't use those. And you can see it's kind of low, all right? And we'll go downstairs in a minute. The fans, some fans are missing blades. And then here you'll have to do some reconstruction. There's some, all right? That's the outside door. And then there's a bunch of electrical CFIs work, the 3-prong outlets work. We have an alarm system here. The steps look pretty good. I mean, as far as, being safe. And there's rails. Now, basement steps in the older house, they always aren't safe. Like that step is too big, And now, what we got going on down here is they hired a company, probably looks like Ohio State, a waterproofing company, so they had a water problem. And it wasn't bad, but you can see the rusting of all the ducts from past water problems. But somebody spent a lot of money on this interior waterproofing system, so it's an interior drainage system. Okay, the glass block windows have been replaced, and here you can see the plastic pipes So this house had a lot of stuff going on. So one time it was frozen pipes. So they went to PVC, had a basement leak, so they went to hired a waterproofing company. Maybe they went broke on it because those are very expensive. Very sloppy plumbing. You can see how they could have added additional ties. New stack, that's been replaced. That's a good sign. And the floor's kind of dirty, and there's a yellow spot there. I'm not sure if someone's getting in here or not. You know, a lot of times in the city, these places, people get in, you know, and they hang out. There's your columns that have been replaced. There's 2 of them. You know, and they're not really done right, but you know what? I think they're fine. There's no joist hangers that were used, so that's why the stairs aren't level, but they're okay. The furnace, there's your cold air return. It's not connected. That causes negative pressure in the basement, sometimes positive pressure in the upper floors. There's our electrical box that is 200 amp service. There's our plastic panels here. You can see all the broken pipes. Now, I don't know how many are broken, but there's frozen pipe there. There's a frozen pipe there. There's a frozen pipe there. That water heater is 5 years old. Newer, turned off, gas is off. The electric is on. You can see I got the light on, conduit. So it went through a nice electrical updating because there's a lot of new Romex and conduit that was put in. So we still have some older knob and tube, you know, but for the most part, I think it's good. It looks like it was done by an electrician. So, you know, this house did go through some proper renovations and they spent a lot of money. I bet that waterproofing system cost 10 to 20,000, you know, so a lot of stuff been going on here. I would recommend more cold air returns to diminish the pressure. There's your easy breathe machine. So that's a tall tale sign of a waterproofing company that was here. It's one of the bigger ones, and they sell these things. I don't know how much they work, but I think those basically just suck air out of your house. And then here, you can see there's no insulation around the perimeter, around the band joist. And when you saw the walls upstairs that was torn out, probably from a mold company, there was no insulation in the walls either. So these homes generally didn't have insulation, all right? So the floor looks good. There's some clean outs in the floor. There's some uneven floor areas that need to be repaired. Like right there is a little hole that needs to be fixed, and that's a loose drain. There's a clean out right there. All right, so, you know, maybe more cold air returns. There's our gas main meter, and we have glass block. As we go up, let's go a little bit outside, take a quick look outside. And so let's move on. So these are these steel doors. So that's your dryer vent, needs a new cover. Some of the brick needs tuck pointing. There's your old windows. This is aluminum siding that somebody actually brush painted. Okay, they brush painted it. And on the south side, it's kind of dirty, so it's kind of sloppy, but it works. This wall is a fake wall, and it's leaning. It's not level because the column for this pier isn't level. But it's probably been like that. You can see it right there. Probably been like that for decades. You know, maybe you'll fix it, maybe you won't, I don't know. That's your second story porch that was enclosed, and you can see the gutters are dirty, need to be cleaned. The screens are torn, the overgrowth, and these GoPro turn off. And these stairs need to be repaired. Need handrails on both sides. Electrical going to the garage is underground. Okay, the back, that tree is no good. Squirrels are gonna get up in here before you know it. You're gonna have animals getting in your soffits. The roof also is okay, but it's bowed and deflected. You know, I'm not sure I'm worried about it too much, but it's on its last quarter of life, I'm going to guess. And there's some deflection, so the next time you do a roof tear-off, you probably should do, next time you install a roof, you should do a full tear-off. Then it's all overgrown. That tree's too close. That's probably why they had to put a waterproofing system in, because the tree roots got into the storm lines, and then that caused hydrostatic pressure and the walls leak. We really can't see the basement walls because they got plastic cover from the waterproofing company. There could be some cracks and shrinkage cracks, you know, nothing obviously bowing, okay? And I'm not saying there isn't any displacement. This fence is older, a lot of trees. This is the garage door that's damaged. The garage roof is older, okay? The shingled roof does have some granulation. And then back here, looks like they had a bunch of masonry, an old chimney or something they got rid of, or columns. And back in the back of the garage also is overgrown. I'm not going back there, because you could trip. I actually, in the report, there'll be pictures of it, so check the report out. This is a fast by the way, I do, for anybody else watching this video, I have a service across the country. You could just Google Call Marko, M-A-R-K-O with a question. Call Marko, M-A-R-K-O with a question. And I try to solve your problem for $29. It's just maybe like if you have an issue, you know, with mold on sheeting, or odors and things that other people can't figure out. Generally, I can do that. You can send me photos. We can talk about it. Give you like 15, 20 minutes on that. If some people want reports like bad driveways because, they put water and destroyed the water cement ratio, I can do that as well. Also, look later this year in 2000, next first of the year, 24, I will have a book called, I'm not going to say the name. I already had one of my books taken from me, the name. So I will have a book. It's about your house and all the toxins in your house. It's going to be a really good book. I'm done with it. And so I'll be selling that probably on Amazon. Okay, back to the inspection. That chimney's been redone. You can see around the chimney where they had some problems and they had some flashing leaks. You know what? There's an old house and chimneys leak and flashings leak. It's just part of the game. Okay, it's a single family home. This garage door apparently is damaged. The gutters need to be cleaned. And then let's go inside the garage. This garage is not the original. It's got a second story, very long span joist. So we're not talking landing helicopters up here. Not designed for heavy storage. Talking light storage, and probably on the ends would be better. It's got its own circuit panel. Okay, maybe you want to add a few GFIs in here, and you can see here where the dog was locked in the garage, and he chewed up the door trim. Poor dog. He chewed up the garage door, damaged it. Let's move on. Driveway's older, functional. You might have to do some lifting. Members in the past. The grading kind of slopes towards the house a bit. But now we got that interior waterproofing system, right? So that should take care of it. The sub pump needs a battery backup. I didn't get to it, but that should be covered with a 100% sealed lid. Also recommend a battery backup. The aluminum's good. The siding's good. Some of the new glass block window glass is missing. Okay, this is a little bit bowed, but you know what? I don't think it's going anywhere. The downspout needs to be reconnected. We are on a main street, so expect some noise. All right, the front steps are okay. I mean, there's some damage and there's a little bit of levelness. You can see they replaced the floorboards with outside boards, but I don't even like these rails because somebody could walk backwards and flip over and break their neck. Very dangerous, very dangerous. We got to fix that. These are the older windows. You may want to consider future replacement windows with less friction so we don't create, all lead paint pre-1978 could contain lead paint. All work should be done by lead paint contractors or EPA certified firms, okay? So, and a lot of times, the city's going to want clearance testing now, all right? Everybody wants to make some money. Our front looks good, no trees up front, but that one tree on the side of the house is kind of close, all right? And that needs to be trimmed or cut. I'd probably cut it and remove the stump. Then I don't know what they're doing here, but looks like they built something that looks like a basement, but a broken glass. It looks okay. It's overgrown, all right? And this is the neighbor's property, and that upper chimney's got some issues. The brick was poorly repaired. We probably want to fix that. We got some tuck point. We got peeling paint on the outside. We talked about peeling paint, right? Not a lot, but there's some. I don't do phone cable. I don't do any satellite dish. Gutters need to be clean, adjusted, caulked, and sealed. Okay, here's our tree that's too close. There's our new electric meter. We have 100 amp service downstairs. I'm not going to open a box during this short, quick video. And we have some peeling paint. And you can see low voltage phone cable, satellite dish not inspected. You can see. But you know what? You got some loose trim. Those bees could get up in there. These trees got to be cut. And then basically here's our front porch. So that is the quick skinny 15-minute, 16-minute video. I can do this for people in Cleveland if they want, but I have different fees. You have to call me, text me. So again, if you're watching this and you're not my client, because this is a paid inspection, I'm not going to give the address or what city. Okay, let's just say it's in Pennsylvania somewhere for the sake of the video. And we have one person on. So, hey, thanks for coming on. Today is Monday, probably 11:30 a.m.